Men nu sagde jeg masser af ting, der kan komme bil, så hun faktisk ikke engang kunne komme tilbage og slå hende. Hvad er det så, vi skal have af billetter for? Jeg sætter mig altså herovre.
Og så kan der forekomme cirka 10 minutters ventetid på grund af trafik i luftrummet i dag. På vegne af Air France og SkyTeam Partner ønsker vi alle sammen en behagelig rejse. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now ready for boarding on this Air France flight 2351 bound from Paris, Charles de Gaulle. And we kindly ask all business class passengers and Elite Plus members to board the aircraft first. And please show your boarding pass to the cabin crew, thank you. We might expect 10 minutes of delay due to air traffic today. On behalf of Air France, KLM and SkyTeam Partners, we wish you all a pleasant flight, thank you.
Hvis der var papir, i hvert fald saks papir. Jeg ved ikke. Der lugter sådan noget endnu træt noget.
On se vol à destination de Paris-Charles de Gaulle. Les téléphones portables doivent maintenant être éteints, et ce jusqu'à l'arrivée à notre point de stationnement. Veuillez attacher et ajuster votre ceinture de sécurité. Au nom d'Air France KLM et de ses partenaires SkyTeam, nous vous souhaitons un très agréable voyage. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Elizabeth Fiatier in the purser. Captain Mr. Thierry Lancronier and the crew are happy to have you on board this Air France Airbus 390. All of this to your safety and comfort over your flight to Paris Charles de Gaulle. All mobile phones should now be turned off until we arrive at the parking stand. Please fasten your seatbelt securely. On behalf of Air France, KLM and our Sky Team partners, we wish you a very enjoyable flight. Interdit de fumer dans les toilettes. Nous vous informons que fumer dans les toilettes ou porter atteinte au fonctionnement des détecteurs de fumée est passible de poursuite. Vous pourrez vous déplacer dès l'extinction de la consigne attachez vos ceintures. Cependant, pour votre sécurité, nous vous recommandons de maintenir votre ceinture attachée lorsque vous êtes assis. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a non-smoking flight. For safety reasons, it is absolutely forbidden to smoke in the toilets. We remind you that smoking in the toilets and tampering with smoke detectors are liable to prosecution. You may get up and walk around once the seatbelt sign has been turned off. For your own safety, however, we advise you to keep your seatbelt fastened when seated.
Og vi skal køre med tog i 45 minutter. Eller short. Med tog? Det fik vi at vide ved
Er det sådan noget fra en terminal til?
De vidste, vi lige går. Nej, men det ser de mennesker derovre. Det er sindssygt. Det der. Her med skruet. Det var det der. Jeg håber I. Der er mange mennesker derinde. Det kunne det godt være. Ja. Det kunne være rigtig meget. Ja.
Hvad?
Jeg elsker sjovt. Ja, det var sådan samme. Og så han sælger julekrop, så sælger han op. Og bamsen også for på luftpænder. Det er ikke
I'm not an expert on the West.
Atterrissage dans environ 50 minutes. Il sera 20h45 en heure locale. À l'heure actuelle, la température à New York est de 16 degrés, la visibilité de 3 km, avec une petite pluie que nous poserons face au nord-est. Notre terminal sera le terminal 1. J'espère que vous avez fait un bon vol et je vous souhaite un bon repos à New York. Merci de votre attention.
Termin.
Okay. And then you walk over and pick it up. Just take a line here.
Ja, så det jeg hørte, og så Village spillede det også. Og Christopher spillede allermest.
Men jeg er ikke sikker på, at det betyder så meget. De skal bare sige students. Der er også
Hey, du fyrer mig på 6. Jeg er bare træt af det.
hvorfor jeg havde fået ind i hovedet, at det var en buffet.
Det havde jeg et eller andet sted også, faktisk.
Jamen, jeg ved ikke, hvor det kom fra.
Hvorfor er det?
Bacon and sauce. How you like it? Scrambled?
Yeah. And orange. Hvem der til? Hvad skal vi sige?
Jeg troede, du ville have billeder herinde med mad. Jeg tænkte, at jeg må gå lige og vente med.
Nej, det er kun til mig.
Hold da. Det er meget.
I er blevet inspireret af hinanden, kan jeg se.
Ja. Så føler man sig virkelig. Jeg er sikker på, at det er faktisk
Har I fået kort?
Vi har det vundet. Bananen er bare overvejet.
Ja, Katrine, du må godt lige kigge herovre.
Vi har en bus.
Rainbow flag. You're now in the Chelsea district. There's an old phrase, if you can't beat them, join them. Now, I don't know how you feel about that. I put up a fight and I'm not surrendering. But I think the other word we could use is acceptance. We have to accept them for their preferences, ouch, and hope that they'll accept that we don't share the same feelings. Now, by today's standards, the gay community has power, and the greatest power that it's achieved is voting power. So they have such a power in numbers that they could turn an election. That's why our mayor, who's going out of office this year, is against same-sex marriages. If he was an incoming mayor, like many incoming mayor, he would say, "Oh yeah, man, I'm all for it." You know, it's all about power. On our right, we see what used to be one of my favorite stores growing up in the Bronx. It was such a favorite store. I got a girlfriend and I took her shopping there, and I really pissed her off. Why? Because the clothes are usually worn by somebody else first. It's called the Salvation Army. In the Bronx, where I'm from, they're called used clothing. In Manhattan, where we are, they're called retro. And that means they're 4 times as expensive as they were when they were new. We're now on 8th Avenue going straight up. We're going to go straight up to 42nd Street. We're going to be visiting the borough of Manhattan. I'll be driving with one hand and talking with the other. And if you have questions, feel free to ask. Again, my name is Joshua. Everybody calls me Joshua, and the other things they call me, they never say to my face. And I'm a non-violent man, so it wouldn't matter. When I was growing up, this was an area, I'm probably one of the only individuals you'll meet that was born and raised in New York City. Everyone else has migrated from somewhere else. There are... Hold on. Yes.
Should I leave the key inside 21 and lock or open?
Leave the key in, but leave it open.
Okay, copy that.
Okay. There are 168 different ethnic backgrounds and well over 100 languages spoken in this wonderful city of immigrants. Immigration came to its highest peak point in the year 1892 when the doors of Ellis Island opened. If you look at New York City's history books, something else began in 1892. It was the construction of the Cathedral of St. John the Divine. Both immigrants coming to New York and the cathedral have not stopped yet, which means the cathedral has not yet been completed. We're headed north on 8th Avenue as we look at the smaller buildings that were homes of families who migrated here. Today it's becoming an artistic community, a flamboyant artistic community, an extension of Greenwich Village. Chelsea. As we continue north, we look at what is known as public housing. These buildings on our left were designed for middle-income families. Notice the extra, the balcony, allowing you to have a view of the outside area. As we see the buildings smaller, which will eventually be destroyed because of lack of maintenance. No, we're not going to go by the area where the plane crashed. National Institute of Technology, David Dubinsky Student Center. They should be building a building in honoring Rudolf Lorensky. Anyone know who Rudolf Lorensky is?
No.
Of course you do. You just don't know you know who he is. The name has been changed to become more Americanized, be more patriotic. I'm sure one of you has passed the store once or twice trying to decide whether you're going to buy a sweater for Ralph Lauren or his cologne. Yeah, Rudolf Lorensky, Ralph Lauren. Same person. I don't know if you follow the cologne wars, as we call them. Whenever Ralph Lauren comes out with a new cologne, so does Calvin Klein. They're very competitive, especially since they went to the same junior high school and lived in the same neighborhood. And where would that neighborhood be?
Greenwich Village.
Nope. They lived up north as North. We would all like to stay in the Trump International Hotel and Towers, but can we afford it? That's Madison Square Garden, and below Madison Square Garden is the Pennsylvania Railroad, Pennsylvania Station, taking you places south, like Pennsylvania, Washington, D.C., Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina. Back in the early 30s, Pennsylvania Station was located across the street on the left, where we now have the Foley Post Office. They decided that they needed more room, they needed more space, that they needed to modernize, they needed to upgrade. The famous boxing arena, which was located first on 23rd Street, Madison Avenue, and then 50th Street, 8th Avenue, also needed a larger, bigger arena. So they combined both locations on our right, Madison Square Garden, and Pennsylvania Station, which was originally on the left. Some genius, I don't know who, he's not claiming, says that it's not convenient here at Pennsylvania Station anymore. So they want to remove Foley Post Office, which is the only post office that stays open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, even on Christmas. They want to remove it. They didn't say where the new location would be, but they want to put Madison Square Garden and Pennsylvania Station back across the street. Some people have too much money. And where are they getting these funds from? Undisclosed and undetermined venues, but I think it's our tax dollar. But the store where I indulge my hobby is located at 34th Street and 9th Avenue. And if curiosity takes you to 34th Street and 9th Avenue, you'll say, oh, I like that hobby. No, it's not drugs, and no, it's not women. Sometimes women are involved, but only in front, not in back. Which is a price I could afford.
Where?
To our right, way to our right, above Pennsylvania Station, we have what has regained its title as the largest building in New York City, the Empire State Building. It's all the way to our right. Just look up in the sky, and if you can't see it, that means it's too cloudy. The Chrysler Building was not built to be or any competition with the Empire State Building. The Chrysler Building was built for its Art Deco style and Art Deco style of chrome, and it was built without an observation deck. It was just a simple office building, and still is. Okay, we're now passing 35th Street. Somewhere in the middle of that block you'll find Adams, Persian man and his grandfather. We're now headed toward the Port Authority, 42nd Street and 8th Avenue, our bus terminal. Again, buses will take you throughout the United States. Of baggage like they do at the airport, so you should be okay. But make sure you get there sufficient time, because half of you don't want to get on one bus and the other half on another bus. The rip-off place is Starbucks. $5 for a cup of coffee? Never heard of it. These 80s and early 90s, all the stores had signs like the one to our right. And inside it would have signs saying Peep Show. Peep Show means you stick a quarter into a machine and a window slides down, and sometimes it's a very pretty girl, and sometimes it's a girl that makes you want to say, ooh. That is against the law. The places that had those signs and buildings have been restructured. As we look to our right, history in the remaking. This is the future home of the New York Times, which is located now on 43rd between 8th and 7th Avenue, originally located at 42nd.
This building?
No, this building right here.
Right.
This is the future home of the New York Times, the one we just passed. We're going to be making a right turn here as we look at dirty, dingy Port Authority, where in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, men would hang around just waiting, looking for someone who has that look. That look that, I know what I want, but I don't know where I'm going. Can you help me, mister? Once they see that look, they'll feel them out and talk to them and convince them and tell them how pretty they look and why do they come to New York. And they say, oh, you think I'm pretty? I want to be a model. And the next thing you know, they treating them like a queen, like a princess. That's the first 2 weeks. After that, They're modeling on 11th Avenue at 30 below Weber in hot pants and hooker boots. 42nd Street. As I say, new 42nd Street, same old theaters renovated with new screens, new seats, new carpeting. No longer business as usual. No one selling marijuana or angel dust or asking you if you need someone to keep you company. Even the Hilton Hotel has created a location here in Times Square. A place designed to accommodate visitors and families. As we now look at the new B.B. King's lunch, dinner, and late night.
Where's that?
It's on my left. On my left, we also have Dallas BBQs, and I think there's a new fast food Japanese joint that opened up in the area. If you like ice cream in a different way, try Cold Stones. It's made to order. On my right, we have a bunch of restaurants in this particular building. Madame Tussauds Wax Museum on my right. Now, what was once buildings owned by the Housing Preservation and Development of New York City because the property owners did not pay the taxes has become what we refer to as a high rent district. Only organizations and companies with money and superior influence in the city are residing here. As I look to the left, there must be something about going to the Fashion Institute of Technology. The name Mark Echo presents coming spring of 2007. Where did Mark Echo grow up?
In Bronx.
You got it. You've done your homework. On my left, what was once the first porno theater in Manhattan, we see where a bunch of kids are going inside to see New York's Legends of Hip Hop at the new Victory Theater. I am not part of the Legends of Hip Hop because I thought hip hop was a fad, like the Charleston, that it was here today and gone tomorrow.
So you were late.
I knew then what I know now. You looking to my right, a little row of trees, that's Bryant Park. Bryant Park is where at the beginning of spring, summer, fall, and winter, the designers who come from the fashion district will set up a large tent which will allow them to create a runway atmosphere. They're holding the traffic because we hear sirens. That's a job that has no respect. I used to work in the Empire State Building in the early 80s. DVDs, movies, newspapers. For a half an hour, they'll let you get on the internet. They have computers. Don't hog up the computer, other people are waiting. Most young men and women who don't have computers on their own, that's how they search for jobs, by coming to the public library and getting on the internet. as the other vehicles are delaying us making a right turn on 40th Street, or is it 41st Street? Over 1 million people come in on a daily basis to work, to visit, to shop. Starting from 5:45 in the morning until 2 o'clock at night, 2 o'clock a.m. There are 100 tracks, over 141 tracks on our left, Grand Hyatt. Did I mention that there were over 141 train tracks coming from outside of Manhattan into Grand Central Station? Did I mention that? On our right, the famous Hemsley Hotel. When Christopher Reeves appeared in the movie Superman coming out of the Daily Planet, this was the building he came out of. May he rest in peace. On our left, the Pfizer's World Headquarters, where we get Dentine gum and Viagra. We're now in the section called Tudor City, an elegant place to live. As I look to my left, this began and encouraged my visiting Manhattan when I should have been in school. This is the Ford Foundation. It's designed to allow the employees of the Ford Corporation to have a wonderful view of nature and not the view of the dirty, filthy city in which they worked. If you've seen the movie Scarface or Mermaid, you've seen the area up above us. Also shown in Wesley Snipes' Fugitive. And if you remember Scarface, they made a turn here and a turn there, and before you know it, they were at the United Nations headquarters. I'm told there are 139 flagpoles, all members of the UN. The property on which the United Nations was built was donated by the Rockefeller family. John Rockefeller, Andrew Carnegie, and Cornelius Vanderbilt, the United States' first self-made millionaires. But John Rockefeller's philanthropy goes beyond. As we look at all the camera crews on our right, they're waiting to see what the United States has to say about North Korea. Or is it South Korea? Whatever Korea. As I look to my left, this building was part of the United Nations until Donald Trump got a hold of the property. Today, it's the tallest residential apartment building in the world, 90 stories high. Home of New York Yankee Derek Jeter, comedian Steve Harvey, and Sophia Loren. I've met Derek Jeter and Steve Harvey, but Sophia has yet to invite me for dinner. Oh, and the comedian Bill Cosby. That lady is a permanent resident of the area. She's waiting for her ship to come in. As probably the original German house, but it was only a 4-story building. So they tore that building down and they